Homeopathic facial analysis, also known as HFA, is a traditional Hahnemannian homeopathic method which uses a modern interpretation of miasms based on facial analysis. Homeopathy utilises universal principles. Hahnemann outlined these principles. They include three primary energies or directional forces. Each directional force is a demonstration of universal energy in action. The clinical application of HFA has met a consistent response to homeopathic remedies in the majority of cases of chronic disease. Most clinics report an average success rate of 80% within 4 visits. Bentley, the original founder of homeopathic facial analysis, has written 3 books about this topic: Appearance and Circumstance and Homeopathic Facial Analysis, which are both about the clinical application of HFA, and Soul and Survival, an interpretation of the findings behind the method. When we look at universal energy, we know that we all come from a single source. However, we also recognise that the universe is 3-dimensional. The 3-dimensional planes of that 3-dimensional universe come from 3 specific forces. There are 3 universal energies that we are instantly familiar with. Outward energy as represented by the sun, circular energy which we see in the planetary cycles and the cycles of the seasons, and inward energy as represented by gravity. Homeopathy is about the smallest parts of matter. An atom is the basic unit of matter, and there are 3 energies within an atom: the electron, which is located in the outer shell of the atom, and the neutron and the proton, which are both in the nucleus of the atom. The 3 universal energies are directional motions. The electron is outward motion, or yellow. The neutron is circular motion, or red. And the proton is inward motion, or blue. We can look at the 3 primary energies in a number of ways. We remember that the universe is 3-dimensional. We measure size through height, width, and depth. We move either forwards in a circular way or backwards. Relativity is about time, space, and matter. And we've covered the subparticles, the electron, the neutron, and the proton. 3 is an important number in our universe. The 3 energies have 3 functions. Outward energy moves outwards into and creates the universe. Circular energy keeps the cycles of time and nature in place. And inward energy creates gravity and stability. To understand homeopathic facial analysis, we must remind ourselves of these 3 universal forces and imagine the direction they move in. Outward energy, yellow energy, constantly moving outward like the sun. Circular energy or red energy, moving in a circle like the cycles of the planet and the cycles of nature. And inward energy, blue energy, drawing inward like gravity. Each of us comprises these 3 energies. They are at the basis of everything in the universe, including us. And yet we are individuals and we have our own specific energy. And that specific energy is what we're trying to determine when we find a suitable homeopathic remedy. We are energy and we are impacted by energy. When our energy becomes misplaced or misdirected or even gets depleted, we become sick. Homeopathic remedies work by both the repulsion of an illness, such as a contagious illness, or by the replenishment of our energy when we are in a chronic disease state. Homeopathic remedies deliver the correct energy to sick people. Homeopathy is such an individualised process. However, there is a formula to finding the correct remedy. And that formula involves looking at both nature and nurture. Nature is the blueprint of universal energy and how it affects us. It is our internal energy or our defense response. Nurture is what happens to us and how we react. Our life story our mental or emotional symptoms or rubrics, and the stress that we have endured. Also, our interaction with our environment, general symptoms, which are an indication of how our body is attempting to rebalance from the stress that it is enduring. If we look at nature's blueprint, we remind ourselves again of the three universal energies. In historical homeopathic terms, these three energies were called sora, psychosis, and syphilis. Sora is represented by outward energy or yellow energy, psychosis by circular energy or red energy, and syphilis by inward energy or blue energy. Energy is such a difficult concept for our material minds to grasp. Let's imagine that the 3 points of energy are represented on a triangle, with each point having the 3 colours yellow, red and blue showing. Hahnemann wrote in the 6th edition of the Organon that 2 dissimilar diseases, or we could see them as different energies, of equal strength combine to form a complex disease. If we go back to our triangle, we can see that if yellow and blue combine, we get green. If yellow and red combine, we get orange. And if blue and red combine, we get purple. Of course, if all 3, yellow, red and blue combine, we get brown. The HFA model is based on the 3 universal energies, which in turn become 7 different energy patterns, or in traditional homeopathy, they were known as miasms. The traditional names were sora, psychosis and syphilis for the 3 primary miasms, with the tubercular, psychosoric, psychosyphilis and cancer miasm being the extra 4. These are all recognised miasms within homeopathy, but the HFA model turns this concept into the concept of energy rather than diseases. If we go back to the 3 energies again, let's look at what happens when they combine with one another. When outward energy and circular energy of equal force come together, they combine a new complex energy known as orange energy. When we look at orange energy, we see the outward motion of yellow coming into contact with the circular motion of red and forming a resistance. Each is equal to one another in force, both touching one another, but neither dominating the other. When circular energy and inward energy come together, they form the purple energy pattern. Purple is an interesting energy because the circular energy of red and the inward energy of blue never actually meet. Each is equal in force to the other, but neither ever touch one another, forming a space in between. When the outward energy of yellow and the inward energy of blue come together in equal quantities or force, the green energy pattern is created. Green is traditionally known as the tubercular miasm, and when outward energy and inward energy come together, reaction is formed. That is, the yellow outward energy pushes into the blue inward energy, which absorbs the yellow energy and then ultimately pushes it back out again, and a continual inward-outward motion is created, which is the reactive energy of green. And finally, the brown energy pattern. When the outward energy of yellow and the circular energy of red combine with the inward energy of blue, the 3 energies of equal force form the brown energy pattern. In traditional terms, this was known as the cancer miasm, but in HFA we do not use disease names because diseases are not literal to these energies. The forming energy is the energy of equality. That is, each of the 3 energies is equally dominant and all hold their place, forming a triangle of equality and harmony. Now we return to our formula. Nature plus nurture equals the remedy we are searching for. Nature tells us which energetic force is dominant in our patient. Our internal energy actually can be found. But how can we find this energy pattern without DNA testing? Our face equals our genetic blueprint. Remember that energy condensed equals material structure, and our facial shape is made from the energy that comes from within us. Our face is the individual blueprint of our true nature, in essence, our genetic map. So what do we look for when we're doing facial analysis? Well, essentially, we're looking at the structure of the face. That is the shape, size, position, and angles of the features that form our facial shape. We look at a number of different areas. Firstly, we look at the hairline, the shape of the hairline, how high it's growing, and its overall growth pattern. We look at the shape of the forehead. We look at the shape of the eyes, but also their size and the position they take on the face. We look at the bridge of the nose, its shape, and how far it is from the eyes. The nose, we look at its shape, its width, and on profile, its shape. The mouth, we look at its size, and we look at the size of the lips. We also look at further areas of the face, such as the teeth, the shape of the teeth, their size, their presentation overall. That is the natural presentation of the teeth, not after a visit to the orthodontist. We look at the chin, its shape, and the lines that come across the chin. We look at the overall bone structure of the face, in particular the chin and the cheeks. We look at the ears, their shape, angle, and position. And many lines appear on faces, particularly as we age, and those lines differ. We look at lines on the forehead, under the eyes, on the cheeks, and on the chin. And we also look at general markings on the skin and overall asymmetry. And the total package becomes our facial analysis. So when we look at a summary of facial analysis, we remember that internal energy equals our external structure. The face is actually the only guide to an accurate internal energy reference. It is completely objective and not subjective at all. The face represents the holism of our defense mechanism, or as in traditional homeopathy it was known, our miasm. The face plus the totality of our symptoms equals our constitutional remedy, the remedy that will help us gain the best level of health. Once we've determined our facial analysis, that is our internal energy, we look at the totality of symptoms of our case, and from that we choose a total group of remedies. We then apply a colour group filter to reduce that group of remedies. The colour group is chosen via the facial analysis. All of this information is presented in an online course known as the HFA online course. We've presented it so far to students in 25 countries, and it comprises 21 two-hour recorded classes conducted by Bentley, a self-learning guide to facial analysis, cases presented, both video and paper cases, some self-learning tests, and 400 online pages which comprise essays and general information about HFA. The course is available to view at any time for 18 months from sign-up, and you can sign up at vcch.org. For more information about homeopathic facial analysis and the work done by Grant Bentley, you can contact us at admin@vcch.org. If you'd like to go to our website, vcch.org, we have research information, case information, videos, podcasts, the online course, seminar details, and books available. You can also look at practitioner facial analysis software through our other site, soulandsurvival.org, or on our general public and free online facial wizard site, soulandsurvival.com. We look forward to hearing from you, and please have a look for part 2 of this video series on HFA.